more than £1 million.
And tomorrow there'll be a call to stop the fighting and withdraw from Afghanistan. Let's join Andrew Sinclair, who's in Bournemouth.
Susie, this is an issue that matters to a lot of people in our region. As we speak, there are personnel from the east, engineers, members of the RAF regiment, members of the Territorial Army who are on active service in Afghanistan. And it is very possible that before Christmas, more troops from our region will be sent. And, of course, there have been casualties from our region. Now, the Lib Dems, more than any other party, are agreed that the present strategy in Afghanistan isn't working. Where they disagree is what they should do about it. Some believe we should go on fighting and fight even harder. Others believe that we should stop fighting as soon as possible and try to negotiate a settlement. It's been a terrible few months in Afghanistan. An opinion poll suggests that after 8 years, the public is starting to question our role there.
And when I meet the families of those people who have been bereaved.
Earlier this month, the Prime Minister said the strategy was to keep fighting until law and order is restored. But the Lib Dems are saying publicly what others will only say privately, that the strategy needs to change.
There is a complete lack of a single unified strategy which the international community can follow as a cohesive whole. No such thing exists in Afghanistan, and it's not an exaggeration to say that young men are dying out there because our political leaders won't get their act together.
So tomorrow, here in Bournemouth, the party is expected to approve a motion which says we're never going to gain the upper hand militarily, so it's time to stop fighting and start talking. It doesn't call for immediate withdrawal, but
it's a question of sooner rather than later. And our troops are dying and the fighting's getting worse to no reasonable end.
And that worries some people here who fear the party is slowly moving towards a policy of immediate withdrawal.
Only last week I had a discussion with one of the young war widows in Colchester, and she told me categorically that any withdrawal of British troops at this stage would mean that her husband died in vain. And I think we need to reflect not only on those who are serving and those who will serve, but those who have already served and their families.
It's a hard balancing act. Everyone wants the fighting to end, but how and when? And the Liberal Democrats have been discussing the military this evening. In the last hour, conference has voted to raise the pay of all lower ranks and bring it into line with the police, also to double the number of family homes that are refurbished. That's all from Bournemouth. Back to you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Well, what a weekend of football for our region's teams. 26 goals were scored in the matches involving our 7 league clubs.
Saturday saw Peterborough claim their first championship win, Roy Keane so nearly getting his first victory for Ipswich, and Aidy Boothroyd taking charge of his first home game for Colchester. Tom Williams spent the day with him.
A new beginning at Colchester.
You got it, mate? OK.
Cheers.
Good luck, mate. Thank you.
The walk Paul Lambert used to do, one Aidy Boothroyd will surely get used to. Fans were keen to make the new man feel at home ahead of his home debut.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. Thanks for the cake. See you again.
2 hours till kick-off. This is the manager's office. Let's go meet him.
Hi, Aidy. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Welcome.
Thank you. Jammed out there.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Been given gifts since I've arrived. Very nice.
So what's it like being behind the manager's desk again?
It's fantastic. It's gone from no mile an hour to 100 mile an hour. Everybody wants a bit of your time. You have to prioritise very, very quickly. Look at what's good, do a lot of observation, and come up with a plan to see if we can be successful. Nice to meet you, Eddie. Thanks for coming. You any good in here?
It's Aidy's second go in management. He took Watford to the Premier League. A year out of the game, he's back refreshed, recharged and raring to go.
Well, this is a time when I'm usually just on my own with a piece of paper and a pen and just looking at the opposition's team.
And of course, this is your first home game in charge. Nervous?
No, not really. We know this is going to be tough. They're better away from home than they are at home. There's no better way to get a win to start with, so that's what we're going to go all out for today.
3 o'clock, quick introduction. Then down to business. Penalties decided it. 3 of them. Coyote Odejayi fouled for the first. Kevin Lisby missed. The manager motionless. 5 minutes later, take 2. Odejayi brought down. Lisby this time scored. Not that Aidy would have let on. Straight after the break, handball, same man, same result. A 2-0 win, but Aidy's work isn't done. First analysis. Then acknowledgement before quiet reflection.
Colchester, the opportunities here are just immense, and I just thought, OK, great, it's the right time for me, because I can get hold of this and get a lot of people going with me, and we can perhaps do something.
You do much winding down Saturday nights?
Not really. I think I'm going to get a rest, and then my two kids jump on me and say, right, Dad, time for playing now, so you go again.
So Peterborough got their first win of the Championship season, coming back from 2-0 down to beat Reading 3-2. George Boyd with the winner in injury time. Ipswich, despite scoring 3 away at Doncaster, are still searching for that elusive win. Lee Martin put Town 3-2 up, but with 6 minutes left, Quintin Fortune ruined it for Ipswich. All the highlights from every Football League game are on the BBC website.
Some of the biggest names in football have been paying their respects to Sir Bobby Robson. At a memorial service at Durham Cathedral, Gary Lineker described Sir Bobby as gentlemanly, dignified and diplomatic. He said he never let his country down.
The service was relayed.
Had come to the Cornhill in Ipswich many times to celebrate and savour the triumphs. FA Cup, UEFA Cup, and the day Sir Bobby was given the freedom of the town. Today they came back to the spot once again, not to rejoice, but to reflect and remember.
He was a special man, he'd done so much for the town, and it's through him I've got my love for football. He was my ultimate hero, he was everything.
When the news came through that Sir Bobby had died, what can you remember about that?
Oh, I was done. I don't know much about it. I was done, pal. Wonderful fella.
While the Cornhill was the focus around town, everyone was keen to pay their respects. Bus drivers donned shirts as tribute to a man who made this place his adopted home and who became a local hero.
Bobby Robson was involved in a lot of history in Ipswich, something that I grew up with. He was always there. Very important to me to pay respects to what I think is a great man.
7 weeks ago, when Sir Bobby died, hundreds of fans laid shirts and scarves by his statue in Portman Road. Today, a big screen ferried the faithful 300 miles to Durham as football's elite came together to lament a legend.
From Ronaldo to Robson, from Gascoigne to Given, from Shilton to Shearer, and from Walk to Waddle, the gaffer was hugely supportive and fiercely loyal. In return, the players loved him and respected him.
His father, the people in this area who go down to the bowels of the earth to earn their living, he never forgot that. He always knew his roots.
They remembered him too for his bravery, fighting cancer 5 times. And for the fans in Ipswich, it was the compassion he showed for other victims also battling, which made him special.
I really respect the man, and I think he deserved a better life to what he finished with, poor man.
We've all had relatives who've died of cancer or got cancer, and you thought, yeah, he's dealing with it.
In the cathedral, they were told football would never forget Sir Bobby, nor will these fans, ordinary fans, their lives touched by an extraordinary man. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East, in Ipswich.
He was very special, wasn't he?
Yeah, there's that wonderful iconic picture of him always kissing the trophy. That's great, that is.
Absolutely. What a gorgeous weekend we had.
It was absolutely splendid, if you like, dry, sunny weather. This picture was taken by Glyn yesterday on the River Greytoos near Huntingdon. People enjoying the weekend sunshine. Saturday was actually the warmer of the 2 days, with highs of 23 Celsius, which is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Bit of a shock to the system then this morning. Quite chilly with